If you want the lightest weight possible in your AR-15, you might consider doing a straight pull bolt action AR-15. Okay, what the heck is a straight pull bolt action AR-15? There's no gas system in this AR-15. You notice where there would be a gas port, it is blocked. You cycle it like a bolt action here. It is completely manual. And I mean, I'm going to get right to it. Why would I do that? Well, the main reason is this right here. If I want this to be as quiet as possible, if I want to run suppressed, then I don't like the noise that the action makes when it's fully gassed. And yes, there are ways that you can run a gas system and, you know, quieter, you know, managing different buffer tube systems and so on. But at the end of the day, nothing is going to be as quiet as a bolt action system. And if I'm trying to go as quiet as possible, I'm going to do away with the gas system entirely. The other primary advantage is in an AR-15, if it's got a gas system, I need a buffer tube and I can't do this. I like to have a compact package where I can run a folding stock. So what you're looking at right here, if I was to take everything off, all the doodads. Now I'm not going to take the scope off, but running it without the scope, this is a 3-pound bear rifle. Okay, now if I swap here to correct, let's do ounces and pounds. With the scope, nothing else. I'm going to get the balance here. I might have to put it in this little folder configuration. You're at 3 pounds, 14.3 ounces, including the scope caps, and the rings here. Now, I want to make it clear, when it comes to ultralight rifles, I mean, there's certainly a reason to just go ultralight just for the sake of going ultralight, and that works for some guys. But for me, it's a function, it's a purpose. I need the lightest weight tool for the job, and still getting me the accuracy that I need. So I'm going to have other features built back in that are obviously going to add weight. So it's not as light as it possibly could be, but in the end, it's still the lightest weight version of itself that it could be, and still getting that job done. So I've got built into here, I've got an ARCA rail. I've got a small tripod that I'm going to run. I've got the folding stock. I've got the ability to adjust my cheek height. I've got the ability to adjust my length of pole. I've got a multi-power scope that goes down to 2.5 and up to 10 power. This is the SWFA 2.5 to 10 ultralight. It's got a BDC reticle, so I can effectively, in second focal plane, I can effectively dial, and that's what all these numbers have to do with. I know where I've got it sighted. So for example, if I'm looking at if I'm going to take a 395-yard shot, I can look at my little dope chart here and line that up. So I know on my reticle, as I'm looking at it, there's a line 4 that would correspond to putting this at effectively at 8 power on my zoom. And if I've got that at 8 power in second focal plane, and I look at that 4th line, I line that's my shooting, my aiming point for my target. That's where the bullet's going to go. Very effective. If you have some practice, it goes pretty quick. So I mean, this rifle set up as it is well under a minute of angle accuracy, shooting. I've got the 77 TMKs, and even just 62 grain green tips are plenty accurate. So at the end of the day, this is certainly not going to be a rifle system that everybody is going to enjoy, but it represents to me the possibilities that I think if the market were to support it better, we would have more options like this to still be lightweight, but also accurate. Now I'm going to put all of this stuff on the scale here and show you what the final package is weighing in at. So right here, without the suppressor, we're at 4 pounds. Oh, that's on the ground there. So 4 pounds, 11.5 ounces. Now this particular suppressor is weighing in right now at about 10.8 ounces. So imagine an 8 ounce suppressor on this would be even less, but 5 pounds, 6.3 ounces, okay, with a full mag, well, 10 rounds. For this particular magazine, my setup, that's a full mag, 10 rounds, and it's ready to go at this 5 pounds, 6 ounces. With a lighter suppressor, I mean, you're going to be 4 1/4 or 5 1/4 pounds, fully loaded, ready to go. Okay, so put that into context. Some of the lightest weight rifles on the market are, when they get into the 5 pound range, that's, bear rifle, that's pretty incredible. But for that to include everything ready to hunt, that's saying something. That's ounces and pounds off my pack system and everything else I'm carrying that just makes me more effective. I can go further, faster, because I'm not carrying as much weight. As long as I'm just still as accurate, that's the key. So a little bit about what you're seeing here. This folder stock here that I built, this is completely DIY, very lightweight, weighs under 6.5 ounces, including the folder mechanism. The fore end here, it's a thin carbon fiber tube that is, again, very DIY. It's supported with some pieces of carbon fiber arrows, but honestly, it is as rigid. I can't get that to flex. It is as rigid as any commercially made, fore end that you'd find, but far, far lighter. If you do something like this and you go without the gas block, you're going to have to do something to cover up the gas port hole that's in the barrel. This is a JB weld and an aluminum sleeve that I put together, and it did work. I've got a thread adapter up to 5/8 by 24 to run the suppressor. And if you're interested in what it would take to make a bolt action AR, this is not going to be your typical bolt that you would expect to see. I'll do this all one-handed here. This this upper comes from a company called Solo. Now they make what they call Solo 300, and it comes with this little half bolt and a little retainer piece in the end that is, everything about it is identical in shape and form to your regular AR15 bolt. It's just shorter. Saves weight, of course. Everything else, so sorry, this is pretty greasy. That's the one thing I found with this system is it does need a fair amount of lubrication to get it to run properly. When I say run, it just doesn't like to run a full mag quite as easily without that gas system kind of pushing everything together. If you're not running your typical gas system, there are lots of little parts and pieces that you can leave off that aren't going to matter as much. There's, you know, little detents. You don't have to have a castle nut. Little, I mean, you really don't even need the mag release. If you, I mean, you can run it without it. So there's things that you could leave off when you're building an AR to save every little ounce and things. But as I pointed out, I'm looking for maximum functionality. So I'm not necessarily just going for bare bones, bare minimum, but I'm looking for every place that I can shave ounces without taking away function of the function of the rifle itself. So I'm probably going to do another video at a later date on some of the more specific parts and pieces. If anyone's interested, you know, you can ask in the comments. I can post a list later. But you know, basics here. You've got your it's a carbon fiber lower from Tennessee Arms. You've got this MDT carbon fiber stock or carbon fiber grip. You've got the Aero Precision lightweight, ultralight, I should say, one-piece rings, and a Faxon 16-inch 223 Wild barrel. It's their match barrel, and like I said, this thing so far has been, I mean, just an awesome shooter. I mean, well under minute of angle. I mean, we're talking 3/4 inch groups for the most part, in 10 round groupings. It's really shot very, very well. Now granted, I am shooting off of this little DIY tripod I made. This thing only weighs 6.5 ounces, so it's a perfect fit for a lightweight build, and it integrates into my taller tripod system, so I can take shots at longer range. So if you look at some of my bunny hunting videos and long range shots, you know, 300-400 yard shots off of a standing tripod, that's the system that's running. These legs will insert into the longer legs of that glassing tripod, and I can shoot from a much higher position than the little prone that'll let me do. But anyways, yeah, totally compact, ultralight, and gets the job done. I mean, this is, for me, this is the essence of an ultralight shooting system. So any questions, thoughts, or comments, put them in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks.